Hey, what's up? Ryan Kohler here with GPT for Work, and I figured I'd take a minute to just kind of unpack a quick video of where most organizations, especially smaller ones, not giant enterprise groups, might be sitting at right now with ChatGPT. Look, everybody has a lot of concerns, both concerns of security and protection of information, secure concerns about the accuracy of stuff coming out, concerns about it taking over the world, concerns about it leading to job losses, but also concerns that we aren't adopting and engaging it fast enough. The fact is, if you go run a couple Google searches, you'll see a crazy amount of noise out there about all the potential upsides of AI, all the potential downsides of AI, minute by minute news, it seems, of examples where it worked and didn't work. And the number one thing is for your organization and your employees and your executives and management to understand why there's so much conflicting opinion. Look, the fact is we're currently going through the hype cycle, just like any new technology. And depending on where you're at, not just with the individual type of AI, but also your industry and its adoption of technology, you're going to see this pretty consistent little wave go on as we get from brand new idea out to actual, validated implementation and usage of it from a business standpoint. You're going to hear a lot of hype from those who see opportunities in it, whether it's companies or investors or scientists or programmers or anybody who has the ability to potentially make money off of AI. And then on the downside, you're going to hear a lot of hate and a lot of horror and a lot of fear from those who are threatened by it, people who are safe in the status quo and worry about the future of what could come next. Now, regardless of what you're hearing, all of them are viewpoints. The key, though, from a business standpoint, is to be able to figure out how this is going to impact your business, your market share, your competition, your industry, and to be honest, your own job to navigate your way through that hype cycle without getting distracted by the hype or afraid and freaked out by the hate. The best way to think about it from where am I at individually or where is my team at is to figure out, number one, which side of the spectrum your individuals are coming from, either based off of their profession, their job, their own internal feelings about the world, etc. To figure out, are they coming from the hate and the horror side, or are they coming from the hope and the hype side? Both of these have inherent problems when it comes to getting to the center here, pragmatic, like having a pragmatic policy, having a project priorities, and a way to kind of progressively step forward and make progress and improve things and embed or adopt it and integrate it into our business process. But the key is you got to look at each department and even individuals to figure out, and even as an organization as a whole, to figure out where you're at and which side they're coming from. You see, if you're coming from the hate and the horror side, all is lost, this is going to destroy the world, this is going to put me out of a job, etc. The goal is to get them to start using ChatGPT or generative AI to do some of those projects that are the most painful, the stuff they hate and that they don't really see value with, meaning they're more than happy to hand it off if only it could be done the right way. They're not tying that to their value to the organization or as an employee or as an individual. So you try to identify some of those pain projects. It might be writing replies to emails. It might be crafting outlines of projects or anything along those lines. Those pain projects, those things that while they may not be the most strategic thing on earth and it might not save massive amounts of time or have a huge return on investment, what it's going to show them is that they could be more proactive or more productive by partnering with AI as a tool that they use at work, similar to Excel. That's what we're trying to get that left side focused on, is not that it's going to do things on its own and make its own decisions and take over the world, but more specifically that it's a tool like Microsoft Excel, like Microsoft Word, like Canva, like Photoshop, like any of those tools that I can't imagine us going back to doing things the old way because we're so much more productive and effective and it's so much less painful. Now, on the flip side, the hope and hype people, the people that every day have a new idea of some amazing thing that AI is going to do in the future, it's to get them to focus on realistic pilots, to actually run a project that gets real results that will work today, not in the future, that will generate results today and return on investment today. And that really brings everybody in here to the center. So we're not so focused on the horrors and not so focused on the hype, that we instead can actually start to progress and start to build momentum inside our organization, inside of our departments, inside of our projects and roles at getting better and more productive, more efficient, more effective. And that brings us to the point where we can then become more engaging, where our content can become more segmented, more personalized, et cetera, et cetera. And so that really is the goal, is to bring us along this spectrum. If you try to do it the wrong way based off where the person's coming from, then they're most likely not going to get very good engagement out of it. Now, one thing that I find is that getting individuals to see all the options that it can do, and as well as the ones that pragmatically it should do, can be a little bit difficult. My favorite four are brainstorming ideas, outlining a project, replying to emails, responding to that type of stuff, or writing content, whether it's marketing or sales content or customer service content, support, you name it. All of us sit at a computer and type more than 20 words, and anytime we do that, ChatGPT is a great tool to use as an extension of our ability, as a partner, as this, something we can collaborate with, which is really the goal of generative AI in these especially initial adoption stages, is to help your team understand it's a magic wand that's only as good as their ability to use it, to wield that wand, to know, to collaborate with it. And so you want to start with the easy stuff. The best way is to get the hype and the hate people together, is to get them to focus on first looking at risk versus reward. How nasty could this be because of the information we're putting in, because of the privacy, because of the proprietary information, or whatever the case may be, and how great is the reward? Clearly, we want to focus on the stuff that's low risk, high reward. On the other hand, we want to look at the stuff that's realistic, meaning it has a high potential impact, but it's easy. We believe we're confident in getting the impact with the least amount of effort. Once again, that gets us into the green mode. Another way to think about it when it comes to analyzing the risks and the concerns is really looking at what we're putting into AI versus what we're getting out. Those are really the two kind of buckets. What we're putting in has to do with this measurement of how private, how proprietary, how secret is the information. Are we worried about it getting out in the public, or anybody having access to it? And the more worried we are about it, the more we need to stop and look at those things and decide exactly how we're going to mitigate those risks. Now, on the flip side, we have the how important is the accuracy and how widespread will whatever it is we're doing be distributed. Accuracy clearly is important, but there's a difference between right and wrong, like when you're writing a paper or making a legal argument, versus right for us based off of what we're doing. The key here on that side, once again, is to mitigate it. People shouldn't be using ChatGPT to create content that they themselves couldn't proofread and know whether it's right or wrong. Really quite simple. So this gives us the ability to identify, once again, green. That's where we want to start and work our way up into harder and harder things. So the last part is helping everybody understand we don't need to do everything with it. We don't need to change all of our projects, all of our processes. We don't need to do 100%. The Pareto principle works across everything, and specifically around business and technology change. Find the 20% that will make the 80% of the impact, focus on it, and the agile concept of using it one step at a time. Progressive implementation of steps in 2-week sprints, in 1-month projects or 3-month projects, keeping it nice and tight in those loops so we can make where we can actually get something done and either learn or execute or whatever the case may be. If you would like help moving faster with fewer mistakes and less risk, I can tell you that most likely you're going to need to bring somebody along from a consulting type role. Quite simply, most businesses don't have somebody who understands both the business and their processes in the domain, as well as AI's potential and how it can work. We offer 3 main ways that we help organizations. We do opportunity assessments where we actually sit down, interview them, unpack their business model, their business departments and processes, and help them identify what their potential opportunities are where they're going to get a great return on investment of their time. Number 2, creating a pilot project and actually running it, picking something to prove it works, something that once again is high reward, low risk, that is easiest to do with the most confidence in generating the impact we want. And then finally, creating an actual company policy and a plan of attack. Not a one-time policy, but a constantly evolving policy to help organizations get something in place today, progress forward, and adjust and evolve it as they go and as AI changes in our current environment. If you would like to ask any questions, if you'd like to learn more, feel free to shoot me an email. We'd love to set up a time to talk. We offer free 1-hour strategy sessions, and so we can actually sit down on the phone and talk through what all the opportunities are and identify the best path forward. So let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email. Otherwise, we'll talk to you later.